Welcome to Weekend Trader. In today's episode, let us see what is poor man's covered call and why we should never do poor man's covered call in Indian markets. So, if we take a Reliance stock, its LTP, sorry, last traded price is 2600 and lot size is 250. So one lot of Reliance stocks costs around 6.5 lakhs. So to do a normal covered call, you need a capital of 6.7 lakhs and an additional capital of 1.5 lakh to sell the call option. So you need around 8 lakhs capital. So for people who doesn't have that much capital, what they can do is they can go for poor man's covered call. In poor man's covered call, instead of buying one lot of stocks, what we can do is we can go like 4-month expiry options and we can buy one lot of call option. So if we look at next month Reliance option chain, 2500 call option is around 150 rupees. So that costs around 37,000. So instead of buying one lot of stocks, we can buy one call option in the far month and we can sell one call option in the current month. So for this we need a capital of only 2 lakhs. So the capital is reduced almost by 75%. So this strategy is also called as diagonal calendar spread. So that is the main strategy for poor man's covered call. So this strategy is originally started in US markets, and a lot of people have been making good profits in US markets. Now a lot of people in India, they just see those videos and they are just making copycat of those videos, but most of them don't know the disadvantages of implementing poor man's covered call in Indian stock markets. So let's take an example. If we look at US markets, let's take Apple for example. Apple is one of the most actively traded stocks in the US markets. And if we look at Apple option chain, they have something called as leaps, which are like long-term equity options, and currently they have options till Jan 19 2024. That is almost 3 years option chain is there. And even if we take the last series which is available, even in the last farthest option chain, there is still some amount of volume, some amount of open interest, and even the bid and ask price difference is very low. So in US markets, even in leaps, there is very good liquidity. But let's look at Indian markets. In Indian markets, Reliance is one of the most actively traded stock, and even in options it is one of the most active instrument. And if we look at expiries, in India we have only monthly expiries and we have only 3-month expiries for stocks. So to implement poor man's covered call, we either have to buy next month or the upcoming month options. So if we look at Jan options, there is no much liquidity or open interest in the farthest month options. And even for the immediate next month option chain, if we see, there is almost no activity, and there is some activity at the ATM. And even here the bid ask price difference is bit high. So what happens is since we don't have longer expiries, the premiums will erode much faster. Unless the stock makes a huge move, you can't really benefit from poor man's covered call. And there is no liquidity also. So even though your profit is in your even though your strategy is in profit, you can't exit quickly out of that trade. So that is one more disadvantage. And another disadvantage with poor man's covered call is, um, you have to book losses every month. In a normal covered call, when the stock falls, you get a chance to keep the premium, and you can keep on selling um, next month call options. But even though the stock has fallen, it will still be unrealized loss. But in case of poor man's covered call, every month you have to roll over, and you have to book the losses. So because of these two reasons, it is extremely difficult to make consistent profits in poor man's covered call strategy in Indian markets. So what are the other alternatives? So currently we don't have leaps in Indian market, so that is not an alternative. And there is one more good alternative, that is called as fractional covered calls. I'll discuss about these fractional covered calls in the upcoming episode. So stay tuned.